Hi everyone, I'm Abhijit Mandal, a PhD student under the supervision of Dr. Sandeep Chakravarti at this department. This is my extension seminar 2, and the topic of my extension seminar is Does Quick Suite well with modern adaptive bitter streaming technique? Before I go to the talk, I like to discuss my progress of this of my PhD curriculum. So I have given my extension seminar one last extension seminar on May 24, 2019. Till then, there was three work was done. One, a study on YouTube video streaming system, which was published in NOSDAQ 2017. There was Viscous, the multi-part multi-homing protocol, published at ASEAN 2017, and the work I have presented in that seminar was federated live streaming with that support. It is submitted to ICCCN 2020. Now, work I am going to discuss in this talk. In this talk is the study of quick performance on the task-based video streaming system. We have submitted a major revision at IEEE networking letters. So this is my content of my talk today. Uh, First, I already discussed the progress. Next, the study of the quick performance, and after that, we'll look under the hood. What is actually happening? Why whatever result we are getting, why we are getting those, and after that, conclusion and then publication. Now, before go to anywhere else, I like to discuss the Quick protocol. Quick is an application-layer transport protocol developed by Google. It uses UDP as the underlying transport protocol or native transport protocol, and it have inbuilt TLS, which is a new thing, and there is some advantage of that. Unlike TCP based services, application layer have to add TLS on top of TCP, but Quick provided itself. It multiplexes many stream. That is an advantage of Quick for using Quick for web-based services, as web-based services require a lot of number of request response need to pass between server and cloud client. So in this case, in normal cases, they need multiple TCP connection. Now all those connection can go through the single UDP socket. Other feature of UDP, sorry, not UDP, Quick. Other feature of Quick uh, are they provide zero RTT connection time. That is, there is no handshaking required to connect a new connection to the server or from this with the server. Unlike TCP require uh, one RTT for connecting TCP itself, and if we add TLS and other stuff, it's sometimes go up to 3 to 4 RTT. Now, unlike TCP in HTTP or any other multiplex TCP based connection system, there is a head of the line blocking, which means it wait for other where it uh, wait for a packet and does not forward the existing data, whatever this receiver received from the sender, unless it receive the lost packet. But in case of Quick don't bother about that. It always deliver the packet it received from other side. In case of a packet loss which is not related to those other packet, it provides forward error correction, which is a technique to recover lost packet without retransmission. Let's look at a dash of dash. Dash is a guidelines how we can stream video over HTTP with adaptive bitrate. Now, for to stream video over internet using HTTP, we first need a web server, and we have to segment the video in multiple equal chunk, and each chunk need to be encoded in different video quality. Just like here we saw that we have 6 chunk and each chunk were encoded in 3 different encoding: low, medium and high. And that's it for the server side. But the client side, it always look at several parameter and consult to ABR algorithm, and accordingly it select best video quality on the fly. So the video quality, uh, whatever is selected, when it gets it, it play it, and that's it for the dash. Now the thing, the it need to select a video chunk, or select a video quality for each chunk, and that is done by ABR algorithm or adaptive bitrate algorithm. So what ABR algorithm do? Their objective is maintain quality of experience. It's a metric in video streaming services uses. Uh, we will discuss it later. So to maintain this QoE, it uses several parameters from the browser or from the player to playback system, such as throughput, buffer length and other things. And based on that, it decide the quality of next video chunk to be downloaded on the fly. There are several algorithm available, ABR algorithm available. Few of them are Bola, MPC, PNC. There are different approaches to solve this problem. So different approach have different algorithms. So let's look at the QoE, which is the objective of these algorithms. Uh, QoE is a combination of multiple parameters like bitrate or quality, rebuffering or stalling, lack of smoothness or bitrate variation. The goal is to maximize the bitrate while minimizing rebuffering and minimizing the bitrate variation or lack of smoothness. The formula we use here to calculate QoE is as this. Uh, there we basically give a different different parameter to different weightage to different parameter, and based on that we collect the data, calculate the QoE. So in this study we compare performance of different ABR algorithm in terms of QoE and QoE components, and components on while it's playing on QUIC or TCP based services. And after that, if we get any difference or any similarity, we will try to figure out what is the root cause of those observations. So first, let's experiment. We use a very simple system. We use a streaming server to which hold all the video files. Then we use the uh, player, which is essentially runs in a server. We use the dash if provided dash js player dash js 2.8, and there we use different ABR algorithm. As we are using two different server and client, we need to as we are running this experiment in our lab setup, we need to emulate the traffic pattern or traffic pattern we see in the wild, that is the network variation and other stuff. So for that we use a traffic shaper called Mahi, which save the traffic based on pre-captured traces. Now we need video data and trace data. So for video data, we use pre-selected 50 video, and total playback duration of those video is 45 hours. We play it, we densify it in each different video bitrate, and we play it using the normal dash player. Then we use the trace file to save the traffic between the client and server or browser and server. We use traces from two different sources: broadband of FCC, broadband data from is FCC, and 3G HSP trace from Norway ISP. Now the thing is, although they have a huge number of traces, we select few randomly, and we make sure that for each video and the AVR combination use same trace file, so that we can compare TCP and QUIC for those combinations. Now let's look at the result. We plot all the components: quality, smooth, lack of smoothness, rebuffering, and QoE. All the plots are all the results are shown in form of box plot. In red we show QUIC, and in blue we show the TCP. In y-axis we plot the different ABR. In B, here B means BOLA, BB means native buffer based, MF means MPC fast, MR means MPC robust, and P means PNC. In y-axis we plot the components, and for each result, each combination, each pair of TCP and QUIC result, we perform Mann-Whitney U-test with non-parametric assumption to find the statistical significance of these results. So let's first look at the average bitrate. So average bitrate, here we can see that in every cases QUIC provide lower average bitrate than TCP. Now the goal here is to increase the average bitrate, so maximize the average bitrate to improve the QoE. So we can say that for average bitrate component, TCP performs better than QUIC in all the AVR, for all the AVR. Now let's look at the average bitrate variation. The goal here is to minimize the variation. So before we can conclude anything, we find that BOLA and MPC robust in this result are not statistically significant. The difference is not statistically significant. So we cannot say that anyone have performed better than other one. But for rest of them, BB actually, for BB TCP performed better than QUIC, but it's not true for MF, that is MPC first or PNC. Let's look at the rebuffering. So rebuffering case, here also our goal is to minimize the rebuffering. Here y-axis we plot the average rebuffering per chunk. So if a video have 40 chunk, it will that video, and average rebuffer is 0.4 second. That means that particular video have been stalled for 40 seconds. Now we can see that almost everyone except that PNC, except that MPC robust is visible that QUIC performing better than TCP. However, sorry, not QUIC. TCP is performing better than QUIC. However, only BOLA buffer based and MPC fast are statistically significant, and rest of them are not. So this is the ultimate parameter, that is quality of experience. Here, apart from MPC robust, for every other AVR algorithm, we can see that TCP provide much better QoE, visibly as well as statistically significant improvement. So we can verdict that QoE of DAS using TCP is far better than QE of dash over using QUIC. But we have to figure out why this is happening. For that, we need to look under the hood and we try to find out what is happening with the dash, especially that dash.js. So we look at the dash.js code and we find out that it requests the the audio and video simultaneously. Audio and video are two separate stream for dash, and they are downloaded from the server in background separately, and as they have to play simultaneously, dash.js try to download them simultaneously, almost simultaneously. Now that is not a problem. However, we found that dash have different modules. Some of them are core, some of them are auxiliary. ABRs are auxiliary module, not core module, and dash core module measure the throughput and is handle the download and all other stuff regarding playback and other stuff, but it measure the throughput. And during measuring throughput, dash core by default ignore, it's configurable though, by default ignore the response latency, that is when the client send the request to the client receive the response. So with that could be a problem if response time is different or high or something, but it's also give a better idea of the network, that how much actually, how long it is taking to download a segment. But we don't know exactly whether these are the problem or not, or these are the reason these are the reason or anything, we don't know yet. So we perform another experiment with the dash video streaming itself with a lower set, but now we add one more component to that experiment. Here we enable the HAR capture. HAR is HTTP archive. Every browser support that, and HAR usually have all the information regarding each HTTP activity, that's including uh, JavaScript based AJAX call or normal download. So we capture this so to get the proper picture of the internal things. So now we check the result in form of throughput. We measure this throughput from the HAR instead of dash based system. So we saw that throughput is almost same. Throughput is exactly same, I should say. There is no difference at all visibly or statistically between the TCP and QUIC. So what is the problem right now? So we saw that dash ignore response latency. So we plot the response latency, and there is a visible difference between QUIC and TCP. When I perform the significant test, we found that it is not statistically significant. However, it is visibly different. So we wanted to know why it is like that. So we start finding result for different stream, that audio and video, and figure out what is the issue. So when we plot the result, throughput result for uh, TCP, not TCP, uh, audio and video, for TCP and QUIC as well, for both of them, we find this result. Here we plot the response latency for video in right side and plot the response latency for audio in left side. Interestingly, we see that response latency is much lower for video. It's around is below 120 most of the cases, while for audio it is around, it goes up to 5000. But the thing is, the difference, visible difference, is only for audio, not for video, although there is no statistical difference. So we wanted to know what is actually happening to that request. So we plot the waterfall here in this plot, and here in x-axis we plot the we plot the time in terms of seconds, and in y-axis we describe the request number. Request number is just a normal number from the loading of the HTTP as 1, and increasing one for each request, no matter whether it's AJAX or normal. The graph shows three components of the request. For audio and video both, the response waiting, that is response latency, in red. Audio part, the actual download part of a audio is in blue, and actual download part of a video in green. We see that video started, audio or video, for two successive audio and video. They started almost same time, around 100 to 500 millisecond difference, but audio have to wait for a very long time, sometimes up to few seconds. Although this is a very extreme case, but for entire video something like this always happens. So is it that we can say that quick response latency is high by default, or something else is there? To figure that out, we run some more experiment. Now we're using the same test bed, but we're not going to download DAS or play DAS on this video streaming system. Instead, we will download, or we will change the download pattern. Instead of playing video, we'll download some component from the streaming server, and we'll do something. We do download something else. For first experiment, we run multiple session. In each session, we download some content for 50 times. Now every successive content download, there is a tau time. It pauses for tau time. We call it inter request time, and then we vary the tau from 100 ms to 8 seconds, and we vary the content length from 1 MB to 50 MB. Then we run 3 sessions for each protocol content length and this tau value combination. So the first result, that is throughput, and here there's just like before, we place the throughput or rated throughput in terms of Mbps on the y-axis, and in x-axis we place the inter-request time. To find out if there is anything to do with the inter-request time, because sometimes there is a lot of gap between two requests in DAS. We saw that. So here we cannot conclude anything, because we saw that in this result we saw that every step QUIC and TCP performs almost same. There is extremely slight variation which can be considered as noise. So there is no difference. Its output is almost similar. However, when we look at the response time, there is some difference. Quick response time is far better, that is response latency is lower than TCP, but that is again not significant. It's basically some noise, we can consider that. So what is the issue? We don't know yet, but we miss one thing. In case of Dash, there is parallel download going on, but in our cases, we don't do any parallel download, rather sequential. So another experiment with parallel download. For that, we use same setup as previous, but we use two download thread for each session, and each download thread download the content 50 times sequentially. So there is two download thread, so two items are being downloaded simultaneously. It not always, it not may not be for the entire time, but most of the time. So let's see the result. So the first result, throughput, there is absolutely no difference. In fact, we can say that TCP giving performing lesser than QUIC. At least we can say that visibly, but that is not statistically different. Is almost noise. But when we look at the response latency, there is significant difference between TCP and QUIC statistically as well as visibly. But that difference decreases as the inter-request time increases. So that means there is something wrong with the QUIC somewhere, we don't know yet, but probably the problem with QUIC is that QUIC uses single socket, but TCP uses multiple socket. So can it be the problem? We don't know, probably. So we run another experiment with this effect of socket buffer. Every socket is a interface for network to the application, and socket handled by kernel itself, and every socket have a buffer. So we'll look at the effect of buffer. So we run another experiment. It is again just like scenario 2, but instead of running two different protocol, now we'll run this experiment using a single protocol, but change the buffer length. So buffer length by default, we saw that it is around few million pages in Linux kernel, but we reduce it to 15 pages only. Then rest of the things are just like before. I'm not going to all the scenario, and here the result. Throughput. Now when we plot the throughput, here the default queue size, that is million pages, in red, and we plot the low throughput, that is 15 pages, in blue. So here we see that throughput actually reduced when we reduce the buffer size, because as there is no buffer, 15 page only, when new packets are arriving here, or even clients try to send new packet, it cannot push it to buffer because buffer is full, and the other side will assume that that particular packet have been lost. So as essentially that is lost, so they have to retransmit again, which will cause the throughput reduction. So the difference is significant, and that is expected. However, when we look at the response latency, we find something interesting. Here we can see there is almost no response latency for low socket buffer size. because there is not much data to be queued, so all the data can be passed very fast, so there is no latency, and the difference is again significant, and our conclusion is actually means something. But why this problem occurs? Why? We understand the socket buffer is a problem, but why this problem? This is the not problem of TCP. For that, we have to look how the socket buffer and socket works. So there are three layers mainly. There are a lot of layers, but we consider on three layers. That is application layer, socket interface, and rest of the network. That is start from transport layer. And when we compare QUIC and TCP, there is corresponding transport layer, that UDP and TCP. When there is only one stream to be transmit using QUIC or TCP, uh, like this, there is only one socket and they have only one buffer, and everything is, this is okay. Sequence ordered data will pass from application layer to socket layer to the UDP layer or internal network layer. However, when a new connection or new stream comes to the protocol, in case of TCP, in case of QUIC, QUIC actually cannot open another socket, so it append the data to the existing queue, which is already full sometime. But in case of TCP, this is not the case. So if a new packet go to the UDP layer, it have to go through, it have to wait until all the packet have been cleared for QUIC thing, because it's a single socket. But in case of TCP, it's not the fact, not the case. In case of TCP, TCP can pick from these two queue, and if it pick from randomly, not randomly, if it pick using round robin, it is absolutely okay, and the new connection will go to the network layer first, very first. So we understand that this is the problem. This we look at the different kernel nodes and man pages, and we find that this is the case. This is the reason why, if we multiplex a multiple socket over a single, sorry, multiple connection over a single socket, this is the thing happens. So, but we don't know why this is correct, but why this is causing problem for uh, dash. So basically, this is the reason dash suffers with QUIC because of the long latency. Long latency make dash measure throughput wrongly. As it measure wrong throughput, APR assume that there is a huge throughput, which is not actually true when two streams try to download simultaneously, but it assumes that it have a huge throughput, not huge, if not huge is a lot of throughput, so it can download lot of data so it select the better quality to provide better QoE, but that causes problem and everything got messed up and overall QoE drops. That's that is the problem. So in conclusion, we can say that QUIC multiplexing incurs additional latency due to the socket buffer, and that lead the dash measure wrong throughput by ignoring the response latency by default, and because of its measure wrong throughput, APR AVR cannot take proper decision as AVR need a proper throughput measurement. So we might need a better AVR algorithm or something else. Now, this is the end of my talk. Now we'll look at the publication. I have submitted three papers. One of them is this one, which is under major revision, which I have submitted a major revision to IEEE networking letter. The previous work, federated live streaming with dash support, have been submitted to ICCC in 2020, and extension of the viscous and end-to-end protocol over heterogeneous network submitted to Elsevier computer networks. Published works are in DAS, which have been accepted at IFIP Networking Conference 2020. Viscous have been accepted, published in the IEEE LCN 2017, and the work with Candid with YouTube, or a work on analysis of YouTube video streaming, accepted and published on at the NOSDAQ 2017. So end of the talk. This is end of the talk, and thank you for your time. Thank you. Bye.